Hey, it's Catherine with resinobsession.com, and I'm here today to show you how to use our E6000 glue adhesive to glue bales to the back of your resin castings. Now today, these are some Scrabble tile pendants that I've cast. Resin on top, the back is a Scrabble tile, and these are our Aanraku bales. We've got many different sizes of bales and many different styles. So what you're going to want to do is get some of your E6000. Now the kind we sell has a tip to help with the application. You can see this long tip here. You can also get it where it's cut off right here flush. Speaking from personal experience, you really want the tip. It really helps to control where and how much of the E6000 you're going to put on your pieces. I've used it before where it's flush and you got to use a toothpick to get it out, and it just makes a big mess and it takes a lot longer, and really you'll save yourself some time and aggravation by using the E6000 with the tip, which is what we happen to sell. So what you're going to want to do is just put on a really small amount of the E6000 on both surfaces. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that one there. And the same thing here on the back where I'm going to place my bale, just a small amount. Now this one over here, I'm going to overdo on purpose, just so you guys can see what happens or how you can fix it if you do overdo it. So let's put on a big glob. And then we'll put on a big glob here as well. Now you're probably wondering why I'm putting it on both surfaces. Mainly because E6000 says to, and I don't know why, but it does work better that way. It also says here on the tube that you need to wait a couple of minutes before you glue them together. That's also pretty important as well. So I'm going to let these sit here about 2 minutes and then we'll glue them on. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes, and what you're going to do now is just take your two surfaces and press them together. So I just kind of eyeball where I want to put my pendant, and I go ahead and press it together first and then go back and straighten it and clean it up. Just because the glue's starting to cure, and if you've got a bunch of these prepped and ready to go, you want to make sure you get them all on. Okay, so you can see we overdid the glue. There's some squirting out the sides here, but we'll fix that. That's a pretty easy fix. So now I'm just going to go through here and just make sure that my bale is on straight. Make sure I've got it where I like it. And this is a really nice advantage of the E6000 over, say, something like super glue, where you've got literally seconds to get it in the right spot. The E6000, you can manipulate it around and move it around a little bit, and just make sure you get your pendant where you want it. Okay, and same thing over here. Okay, so once you know where you've got them where you want them, then you can flip them over and see if there's any extra E6000 on the back that you want to get off. So this pendant, there's maybe a little tiny bit here, and what you can do is just kind of, what I like to do is just scrape it off with my fingernail. And don't worry if you don't get it all, because we will after it dries. You'll see this another really cool trick. So I just kind of get what I can, and I'll do the same thing with this one over here. Also, if you notice today we're working on a wax paper surface, just in case you accidentally use a little too much E6000, you don't want to glue some to your countertop. So you can see here's like a big wad of E6000. I just use my fingernail and get off what I can. And same thing, but if you don't get it all off, don't worry about it, because we will be able to get it off. Okay? All right, so now what I'm going to do is let these sit for about 12 hours, and then we'll come back and test them and get them ready to go on chains. So our pendants have been drying for the last 24 hours, and they should be adhered on there pretty well. The first thing I do after gluing the pendants is I just kind of twist my bale just to make sure it doesn't pop off. If it does, no big deal. You just glue it back on and wait another 24 hours. So let's look at the back of this one. So you can see there's a little bit of extra glue here, and the same with this as well. And this is the one, remember, we gobbed it on. So what you want to do is just rub and kind of use your fingernail to pull off this extra glue to get it off, because at this point now it's kind of like putty, and so you can actually pull it off, or like this, I'm just kind of rubbing the rest off with my thumb. The other thing you can do too is, for this glue that's in here, is to cut it with an X-Acto knife. So I'm just going to take my blade very carefully and just cut up next to the pendant. and then I should be able to just kind of pull it off right there. You're still gonna have to pull it off, but now it should come off easier. So there we go. So after I clean these up, these will be ready to go. Okay. So you can see this looks a lot better than when we started. We don't have the glue on the back. There's still a little more glue for me to clear up around here, but it already looks a lot better. And so the same thing with this one. I can just pull with my fingernail, pull this extra glue off. See, it just pulls right off. So there we go. That's how you use E6000 to glue pendants to your bales. If you have any questions, by all means, please leave them in the comment box below or stop by the resinobsession.com blog or jewelry making forum. We're happy to help you with your resin casting. Thanks for stopping by today.